Okay, so it seems like we have a little bit of an update on the Hoyoverse situation with all of the voice actors that are returning to the game. Now, obviously, we looked over the screenshot in my last video about some of the voice actors that have confirmed that they are returning to the game and that they're going to be making more voice lines and they're going to be obviously making up for the missing ones, etc. And it seems like most of the cast are back, apart from a couple of ones which we know the obvious. Now, obviously, I wanted to talk about some of the other voice actors that are coming back and have announced, separately what they plan to do, and it seems pretty interesting. Obviously, also there was a situation as well with a lot of love going towards one of the voice actors, which we will talk about. But obviously, Xiao's VA actually responded, saying that they are going to come back whenever they are needed. Obviously, this is a comment over on TikTok, essentially asking them, "Are you a part of the work refusal on Genshin, or are you coming back in the future since the agreement with SAG has been signed?" And they say, "I plan on returning when they need me." So obviously, yeah, it seems like this voice actor will be back whenever it comes, and obviously, yeah, people are very excited to see that happening. Obviously, someone said, "I wish there'd be a list of VAs that are back already," or whatever, which is already a thing. This is the list, by the way. It's all here in like a tier list format. Obviously, I feel like it's updated a little bit now with a lot more, coming out and saying it. Obviously, it's a moving situation, so people are still coming back and saying that they're officially back or whatever. So again, people are very, very happy the fact that Xiao is also back. And we also have another voice actor as well for the 4-star character Mika, who is also going to be making a return. And obviously, yeah, they say if Hoyo comes back and asks for my return, I'll happily do so. Mika fans have been the absolute sweetest, and y'all are the reason I do what I do. Obviously, this is in response to a comment saying, "I love and miss your work as Mika so much. He's my absolute favorite character. Can we look forward to hearing your voice again with everything else returning? I really missed it in Lantern Right." And obviously, yeah, people saying, so nice to hear that people are saying that they're coming back. Need Keith to announce his return as Zhongli. I said, isn't Keith still voicing Torb in Overwatch though throughout this whole thing? And then obviously they talk about the fact that Overwatch is still Union, whatever. Saying, imagine the outrage that would happen if Zhongli and Ito got casted. Pretty sure those VAs would forever stay anonymous. Said, at least I got hopium that Keith still having Zhongli in his profile header on Twitter, plus mentioning the role happily during his recent compost. Max, though, he does not post very much. And they say, my hope for Max is that he's super close with Ray Chase, that he'd be on the same wavelength and come back for Ito, since Ray voiced for Nouvelet. Yeah, Nouvelet is obviously one of the characters that is included in this list of voices to return to the game at some point. Now, obviously, there's going to be a big mix in terms of, when these voice actors come back. This is a list of characters and people who have said they will come back. Some of them are already back, and some of them aren't back just yet due to, kind of logistical reasons, whether it's recordings and voice lines or whatever. Not all of them are back in the game, and some of them are still muted for a little bit. But it seems like, for example, with the Paimons voice actor, they've already been replaced. Recordings have already been done. Same thing with Kenich's voice actor. They've already added in all the recordings for that, and any of the new recordings as well. And obviously, it's a matter of time for some of these other characters that have been featured and that need voice lines for some of the previous quests. We'll also record them over time, and it seems like we will see them coming back to the game slowly. And that might not be for version 5.7, but this might be for some of the future versions, which they're much more needed in. Obviously, it's a little bit of a shame that we missed out on that big monster event with a lot of these characters. It only took like one more update cycle until they actually managed to get a lot of those voice actors back. So it would have been nice to see that maybe redone or whatever with the actual voice lines, because obviously that was one of the nostalgic parts of it. They were trying to go for a little bit of a nostalgia kind of event, I guess, trying to get people to remember, obviously, the fact of, Mondstadt going on, everything like that. And it just wasn't voiced, which just kind of took away from some of that feeling. And the same goes for like the dance lift quest and stuff like that too. It takes away from a lot of the feeling. But obviously, one of the voice actors who is very popular over in Mondstadt is the Venti voice actor. He's been getting quite a lot of love over on Genshin Impact at the moment. And obviously, people saying, please send a lot of love to Erika. And this has over 3,000 upvotes, which is kind of crazy. And obviously, yeah, this is a TikTok screenshot, which essentially, yeah, it's people saying, I'm actually so happy that you're not striked anymore. And even Erika says same, which is, yeah, kind of crazy. Obviously, he said, I know this is unrelated. I hope you're looking out for yourself. There's a leak of a certain group of people in Discord that are going after you for speaking out against a certain guild, which obviously, yeah, people have not been happy with the actions of Erika and also some other voice actors as well, including, I think it's Joe Zija or whatever his name is, who made that whole video essentially kind of explaining SAG-AFTRA strikes and stuff for a lot of the people, which again, was kind of crazy. And that was all in the Mujin video, which we talked about quite a while ago. He also got a lot of hate about his video, essentially saying, because obviously he exposed a lot of voice actors for, what they really were and what they were really doing behind the scenes towards some of these voice actors like Erika. And yeah, it's good to see that, Erika seems to be doing all right with a lot of this news coming out about them, obviously talking behind her back, because obviously it can be pretty hard, especially if she knows any of those voice actors in the group talking about her behind her back, due to the fact of her just wanting to go back to work. I mean, that's the main thing. A lot of these voice actors just wanted to go back to work and wanted to get moving again. And I think, that was something that a lot of people just kind of got fed up with in the end. And it wasn't just Erika, it was so many other voice actors, for example, like Allegra Clark, who is Beidou's voice actor, and Acheron's voice actor in Honkai Star. She was also, saying that, hey, we're going to lose a lot of our jobs to places like the UK and stuff. And the damage has already been done. Let's be real, Jobs are already moving over to the UK. Jobs are already moving over to other countries that are English-speaking or can do English-speaking voice acting dubs. And obviously, yeah, the damage has already been done in terms of that. But it was just in terms of minimizing the damage that has been done by trying to get these strikes over with as quickly as possible so that people will hire American voice actors once again. But obviously, as I said, some people and some companies might still be skeptical in terms of working with these US companies just in case they go on strike again, because we saw the kind of disruption it had with Genshin Impact. We saw the disruption it had with the muted voices and with the kind of muted characters in the story where we couldn't hear them at all. Obviously that could be a future issue for some of these games if they decide to go on strike for another reason, or even go on strike for the same reason. It's something that's happened before. You can have multiple strikes. It's not like this agreement now has come to an end and there will never be a strike in the history of voice actor strikes again. That's not going to be the case. There's going to be one somewhere, but, it's just how, further down the line is it going to be? Whereas if you go to somewhere like the UK and stuff, which doesn't have a reputation for striking, I don't even know if they can, properly strike against stuff like this. They don't have unions like the, the SAG-AFTRA board or whatever that can kind of exploit this kind of stuff. So, it seems much easier for these companies just to make the switch anyways, because then they don't have to deal with it in the future if something was to happen. I'm not saying that it will happen, not saying that there was exactly one coming up, but there is always that possibility that it could happen, and it's better to be safe by going over to the UK or somewhere like that than to be sorry and be, kind of struggling with the fact that, you don't have any voice actors voicing in your game because you decided to stick with the American voice actors, which, yeah, is pretty crazy, and obviously it's caused a lot of irreparable damage to the American voice acting kind of scene. Obviously, yeah, there's even more comments as well. People saying, haven't played the Archon Quest yet, still waiting until they patch Venti's voice lines, said next week, I think. So again, it seems like they are working to patch a lot of the voice lines back into the game. And obviously, yeah, people were saying, said, is it true the strikes are over? And it's just supposedly about damn time. So again, yeah, people have been very, very happy to see that, obviously she's been doing good, and there's been a lot of love being sent over to this voice actor's way. Obviously, yeah, there even this post here in the Reddit post saying, reading the leaked group chat is disheartening, especially since it's Erika they were talking about. She's such a sweetheart to her fans and has always been a good sport. Hoping nothing but the best for the voice actors that are trapped in this situation right now. Please do not radicalize every voice actor. They do not want to be in this situation either. And I think it's great that some of these voice actors, including Erika, have kind of stuck to their own beliefs here and not decided to go absolutely crazy on people due to the fact of there being strikes or whatever, because we've seen it happen quite a bit. For example, I talked about Valeria, who is the voice actor for Sucrose, going pretty crazy on places like Twitter, which obviously is something very, very common that we see in the voice acting community. I don't know what it is with like Genshin Impact voice actors and Twitter. It just turns them into this horrible like monster. I don't know what goes on, but yeah, essentially, they decide to have all the power in the world and just try to, I guess, go after people for absolutely no reason, and it's so cringe to see. Obviously, yeah, people in the reply saying she's very brave for speaking the truth about these threat letters. They said those SAG shields talking bad about her, such as Marin Miller and Carl McCarley, and their lack of sympathy towards her is disgusting. Knowing them, they'll probably try to blacklist her. We need to support her as much as we can, which obviously, yeah, it's a very, very big problem still. Obviously, the fact that people could get blacklisted or, lose a little bit of work by being targeted just for being nice or just for, understanding the other side a little bit more. Obviously, people are saying, like, Erika is a real one, and you can tell that she really loves voicing Venti and likes the Genshin IP. We'd love for every VA who voices characters in-game to have a similar kind of mindset. I really wish her all the best. He said, is Venti's VA coming back? Can I replay the Archon Quest from the beginning? They said, as of 5.6, not yet, but Erika confirmed that she's coming back, and Venti's voice will be added in the future in a hot patch. Obviously, yeah, most VAs don't want to be struck. Erika and Capitano's VA are open to it, but I'm sure they're not the only ones, which, yeah, it's pretty crazy. But I just wanted to kind of give you this update on the situation, because I thought it was interesting that a lot of people are sending love over to Erika, and I definitely think you should too as well, because again, she's been nothing but supportive towards the other side of the cause, because again, it was something that a lot of the voice actors just for some reason didn't understand. And as I said, you know, it seems like a lot of voice actors are now coming back to the game as well. All of these ones are now coming back to the game, which is, yeah, great to see. And that's pretty much, yeah, the whole update that I have for you guys today. But if you guys did enjoy this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Also, go to GameStop, use my code Keza, get 10% off again. There are a ton of really cool stuff over there. I definitely recommend checking it out. And also leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think about the situation, because again, I'm very interested. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. That's all. See ya.